Hello. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to more Euro 2024. This is day 3 of the Euros. We've got Poland, the Netherlands, Slovenia, Denmark, and Serbia and England. We will start out with Poland and the Netherlands. Very good game. Poland shockingly took the lead in the 16th minute due to Buxa. I'm going to butcher a lot of names, so I apologise in advance. But yeah, they took the lead. They were doing pretty well. They were defending quite strongly, but obviously Netherlands just put the pressure on, ramped up that pressure. Cody Gakpo. It was a deflected shot, unfortunately. If it had stayed true, Chesney probably would have saved it, but unfortunately it didn't. It deflected round him, and he couldn't get back up in time because he'd already dived to save the shot. And then it was kind of end to end. It was not like in a action packed fun way, but then. Weghorst, he came on I think in the 81st minute, and then a couple of minutes later just a ball across and he just taps it in, and it was a bit of a hammer blow for Poland. I don't know why, but Lewandowski didn't play. He didn't even come on as a sub. Maybe he's got a bit of a knock, or maybe Poland were thinking, we'll save him for the games where we need him and unleash him fully fit and fresh. But yeah, Holland deserved the win in the end, really. It wasn't as boring as the Italy-Albania game, but it weren't a barn burner, so that game is what it is. The next game up was Slovenia and Denmark, which, oh god, it was a slog to get through. Denmark scored early on, Christian Eriksen, but he was just boring. Denmark didn't deserve the win. I'm glad Slovenia got the equaliser, because Slovenia just threw everything at Denmark and they played quite well. Denmark were just, I haven't really got, Denmark are one of those teams, you always expect them to have a good squad, but there was they offered just nothing, and Slovenia went 1-0 down and were knocking on the door for a fair while and fully deserved their equaliser. It wasn't a fun game. As I said, I think it was more boring than the Italy-Albania game. There's not much really else I can say about that. I mean, that wasn't the game I was excited for anyway, because the big game we were excited for is Serbia and England. Now, this was a game of two halves. England, in the first half, were absolutely dominant. Saka cut down the right, crossed it in, it took a deflected bounce up, and Bellingham just nodded it in the corner. Keeper had no chance. Now, Serbia are no slouches. Serbia have Mitrovic and where's the doesn't show the teams. There we go. Milinkovic, Savic, Zivkovic, Kostic. Then if you look down at their bench, Jovic, Tadic, they're no slouches. They got some good players. But England fully deserved it. Got to half time 0-0. 1-0 to England. England, fantastic. And then the second half rolled around, and Serbia decided that instead of holding off, they were going to go for it. And go for it they did. They had a couple of chances where they probably should have scored and equalised. If Serbia had scored, I would have 100% said they deserved it, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, Serbia just came back and really put us to the sword, really. But they just couldn't get that goal. The end quality just wasn't quite there. And England were lucky to hold on. And then, we get further into the game, and it's what we needed is we needed an injection of pace up top. We needed like a spark, something that could ignite the front three, and Gareth Southgate in his infinite wisdom, the first sub he decides to bring on is Conor Gallagher for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And it's what? You've got such talented people sat on your bench, and that's your substitution. And Conor Gallagher came on and did nothing. He didn't add anything. He didn't add anything. Defensive stability. Serbia was still coming at us. It just didn't happen. And then he decides to bring off probably one of our most dangerous players, Saka, who in the second half, in the first half, he was bombing at their left back and he was getting a lot of luck. And then he just stopped doing it in the second half and was like, why have you stopped? What are you doing? Oh, my bloody hair. Doing my head in. And he's like, what are you doing? You just didn't do anything. And then he gets brought off for Jared Bowen. It's like, that's the sub you're bringing on. And Jared Bowen, first thing he does, bombs down the right, gets a ball in, Harry Kane, you think he's on the end of it, all he needs is one chance, but fantastic save from Serbia's keeper, I think it was Rajkovic, and it was absolutely superb. And then nothing else happened. And then he decides, you know what, I'm going to bring on Kobbie Mainoo for Jude Bellingham. It was from the second half, it seemed like Gareth Southgate was with 1-0 lead, let's not do any more. And he just pulled them all back and they were defensive. And with the substitutions he brought on, it felt like he was going defensive. Now, going through this team, I guess the best thing for a goalkeeper is to have a boring game. And a boring game Jordan Pickford had. I think he made one or two saves where, there were good saves, but Serbia just didn't worry him, which, that's what you kind of want. You don't want your keeper worried. Keeper has a few chances. He didn't really do anything else. Kyle Walker was dangerous. His pace was absolutely electric. But again, second half, it was like he was told to hold back. And he wasn't bombing on and going past Saka like he was in the first half. Because there was a point in the first half where the ball we countered, ball got played down and Walker just bombed it. And he cut in and he got a little nudge so he couldn't quite get a shot off. So he tried to cut it back. But Kane and Bellingham just weren't at the races and they were just... It just flashed across the 6-yard box and went wide, and it was like, just gamble on it, but they didn't. Then we go to John Stones and Mark Gay. They were both solid. Didn't put foot wrong. Mark Gay, I think he had a 96% pass completion. And defensively, I was actually quite surprised. They were both really solid, and I was really happy with them. I think as a defensive pairing, especially Mark Gay, he deserved it at that starting slot. and I think he was really good. And I think going forward, he might be someone that we can look at playing more games at centre back. But yeah, I think they were really well. Kieran Trippier, he weren't fantastic. He didn't put a foot wrong, and he weren't not bad, but he wasn't. He was like 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? He was there, did a few bits. What really, really shocked me is every time he kept picking up the ball and like, I want this free kick, and he never got it, and it just got given to Trent and wasted. Like, Trippier has got such a foot on him from a free kick, and he just kept getting pushed away, pushed aside. I was like, nah. I would have took seniority, but like, seniority, I'm taking this. Your last free kick was crap. I'm taking over. But I just don't get why he didn't get any free kicks. I'm stupid. Then you move forward, Declan Rice. Declan Rice was solid. He was probably a 7 out of 10. He was another player that he did his job. He didn't do it. He didn't go above and beyond. He just did his job, and he just sat in front of that defence and made sure that Serbia didn't get any goals. But yeah, not much else to really say about him. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think he was poor. He was rubbish. He didn't do anything. He nearly gave Serbia a goal when he passed the ball back, and everything went haywire, and Mitrovic should have hit the target. He should have had a shot on goal, but he blasted it wide. And then Trent had a couple of free kicks which were pants. And yeah, that was his game. He didn't really offer anything, and he didn't do anything. I think when he got bought off for Conor Gallagher, which I still don't understand that decision, I think it should have been for Cole Palmer. Because I think Cole Palmer would have offered more going forward. And you could have maybe pulled back on the reins on Bellingham, and maybe can you just cover defensively? Go forward, but cover defensively as well, because he's kind of a box-to-box player. But yeah, Trent was pants. Bellingham was great. He got the goal. He was probably our biggest threat. I feel like we should have pushed him forward and had him, a few more chances, but didn't happen. But yeah, I think Bellingham, I think he got man of the match for us. Yeah, Jude Bellingham, man of the match. Great passing, accuracy, covered a lot of distance, got the goal. And then he got bought off for Kobe Mainoo, which I still don't understand why, when, again, you've got Cole Palmer sat on that bench. You've got Cole Palmer, you had Anthony Gordon, and he brought on Conor Gallagher, who weren't exactly great for Chelsea anyway, and Mainoo, who is a young kid. He's had one decent season with Man United, where Man United didn't really do that well anyway. Like, they literally turned up on the last day, beat Man City, fair play to them, they fully deserved it, but they turned up on the last day and then got shot up into Europe. But Mainoo, the thing is with England is we don't let youngsters, don't let them cook. Mainoo should be in the under-21s, should be learning his craft, and developing, and now it's like, let's throw him into a major tournament just because we don't want Africa to steal him off us. Then we move to the front three. Start with Saka. Saka was probably one of our most dangerous players alongside Bellingham. He was absolutely destroying it on that right hand side. And then the second half, I feel like he was just told to pull back and not do it. And because he didn't really provide anything the second half, he wanted to, he tried to, but it just wasn't pulling off for him. But I think he did really well. When he was pulled off of Jared Bowen came on, had that one chance, and then I think Jared Bowen did more defensively than he did going forward. And then we move over to the left hand side and Phil Foden, and it seems like, like down the years you've had players that are like Andy Cole, Ian Wright, like world class players in their day, and as soon as they pulled on that England shirt, it just didn't work for him. And it seems like that with Phil Foden. Put him in a Man City top, and he's probably more dangerous than Haaland, and close to being as dangerous as Kevin De Bruyne. But you put him in an England shirt, he did nothing. He was crap. He should have been shipped off much earlier. And the fact that he finished the whole 90 minutes, he didn't have a shot on goal, he didn't have dangerous crosses, he didn't take anyone on. He kept floating back and cutting back into the middle and being on the right hand side and just leaving Kieran Trippier on his own on the left. Like, what the hell? He was terrible. He was like 4 out of 10 is generous. And I don't understand why you've got Anthony Gordon. He's got pace, he can take players on, he can draw fouls, he can hold the ball up, he can cut inside and stuff. Why wasn't he brought on Foden? It just boggles my mind. I don't know why Gordon wasn't brought on for Foden. Because Foden was poor. Foden was probably the worst player on that pitch. Because he offered nothing, he did nothing, and he wasn't dangerous. And I love Phil Foden, I think he's a fantastic player, but as I said, you put him in that England shirt and he just doesn't do it. And then you go to Harry Kane. When you are playing Sam Allardyce football, where you're just booting the ball up towards Harry Kane, hoping he'll nod it on or he'll chest it down and hold the ball up, which he did fantastically well, by the way. But that's not what Harry Kane's there for. Apart from that one cross from Jared Bowen, no balls were crossed into him. It was like we were trying to walk the ball into the back of the net. And we're like, we were walking it in, we weren't putting any crosses in. And that's what Harry Kane's best at. He's a poacher. He can sit on that 6-yard line, you cross the ball in goal. He was Europe's top goal scorer, and we were giving him no service. He kept coming deep, which Alan Shearer said several times. It's like, you don't want him coming deep, you want him up the top. You want him as a target man, so you play the ball to him, he holds it up and passes it on. And he was doing it well, but he had no other service. He had no service in the box. I think he had that header on goal, and then you've got Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins, who was second behind Harry Kane as top goal scorer, like for an English player. Experiment. Bring Ollie Watkins on. Ollie Watkins can hold the ball up. Ollie Watkins can pass it. He can go right. He can go left. He can do it all. And he just didn't. Southgate's substitutions were just uninspired, and his tactics were uninspired. Because in the second half, it was like, right lads, we're winning 1-0. Let's just defend that. Let's not try and score a second one. When he had Palmer and Gordon and Watkins sat on that bench, probably sat there thinking, I could change this game. And Southgate didn't want to do it. But yeah, at the end of the day, England still won, so I guess you can't really complain. But it was just an uninspired performance, and it was really frustrating. So that's Group C, all played up. England top with 3 points. Denmark, Slovenia both got 1 point. Serbia no points. Thursday, I believe. Slovenia and Serbia. They're both going to need. Both of those teams are going to need a win. And then we've got Denmark and England. Let's face it, a win. Say Slovenia and Serbia, one of those win. I think a loss for Denmark is just going to be too much for them to come back. I don't think it's going to happen for them. I think I could see Denmark finishing bottom because they were the only out of the teams, I think they were the most poor. Slovenia got that draw against Denmark. If they get a win against Serbia, 4 points. Denmark would have to get a result against England, and I don't see them doing that. And then they'd have to go to Serbia and get a result, and I don't think they'll do that. I think it's up in the air between Slovenia and Serbia, who's going to finish second. To be fair, it was a boring match day. All of the games were just boring. There was just no fun to it. Even the Holland-Poland game, it was just boring. Today's fixtures, which is the 17th, we've got Austria and France, which that'll be a fun one. France, one of the favourites. Austria are apparently a dark horse, so you never know what's going to happen there. 2 o'clock. Well, I think it's 2 o'clock anyway. You've got Romania and Ukraine, and then we've got Belgium and Slovakia. I think both of them will be really good games. I've got Romania in a sweepstakes thing, so come on, Romania. But yeah, those are the games for today. And Group C, that's how Group C is looking. Hopefully today we get some better football. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all that lovely stuff. And I shall catch you guys in the next video. Have a good day, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, or have a good night. And I shall catch you guys later. See you later. Bye bye.